Hopefully you can hear me now, says the moderator. Again, welcome and good afternoon to everybody who's online with us today. And of course, welcome to everybody who was physically present here in the festive hall of the University of Technology as well. 9th of May is not just Europe Day, but it's also a day when the Tallinn University of Technology's board elects a new rector for a 4-year term. TalTech Rector candidates have had a month to present their program and goals and meet colleagues, answer various questions. And here and now, the last big debate between the candidates for the rector starts here and now. And you could think that when the moderator is on stage coming up with questions and asking them is my own privilege, but this time it's different. In order to prepare for this debate and questions, tens and tens of people have participated, sent their questions, have been formulated by students, alumni, staff members, and also policymakers. And we have received video questions as well as written ones. And I'm very happy to announce that we will also continue accepting questions during this debate as well. For this, you need to do nothing else but to go to Slido platform. You see the link and the QR code here as well on the screen.
Who perhaps only vaguely understood what I've just said, I have good news for you as well. We have live interpretation available. Those of you who haven't yet picked up a translation kit, please do so. It is located behind the main door, and those of you who are following us live through a web stream, there is a dedicated sound channel for live interpretation.
But now, dear friends, I'm very happy to say hello to the candidates, the rector in office, Professor Tiit Land. Good afternoon. And also academician, Professor Tarmo Soomere. Tarmo Soomere, does the fact that there are 2 candidates for the rector's position sitting on the stage now mean that Tiit Land has a great momentum and that everybody presumes that he will also continue in the next mandate? Or does it say something else to us? Well, it is a different message, actually, says Tarmo Soomere. It means that in a very good, respectable, decent academic setting, there's also a debate which is based on knowledge and facts. So nothing which is less than great or excellent is not good enough. It doesn't matter whether the sitting rector has done a great job or excellent job. It is still a time now to look around, to stop and to ask questions about the opportunities which have not been used yet. And we won't be able to get any new opportunities if we don't have the debate. Yes, but in addition to Tiit Land, there's only one Tarmo Soomere, so it seems that the debate is quite limited. So do you think that it's because Tiit Land has shown the vision which functions, that all KPIs, all the indicators which we always love to measure have gone up, and Tiit Land is great at what he does? Yes, says Tarmo Soomere, this is what I've said as well, that the development curve has been excellent in case of university. But why are you here then? Well, I state what I said before, that there are several ways of how to solve things differently in management of the university, which is a complicated task. I'm a mathematician and I've been taught all my life that difficult questions have different solutions. In the Academy of Sciences, we also had this tradition that when continue and when to proceed, you need to know where you are first. And you also have to take a look of these opportunities which seem irrelevant at first sight and consider them, because we don't know what happens in the future. The moderator continues. Tarmo Soomere, as a gentleman, did not say things which he emphasized in his manifesto, Tiitland, that you have managed this university in a way that serious scientists and strong researchers do not have the opportunity to leave the research group and take up the rectorship. So this is how you created the conditions for continuing the job yourself. No. Yes, says Tiitland, thank you very much for the compliments. I take it as a compliment because on the one hand, when we have worked on promoting the high quality of research and our researchers want to do their jobs, they want to continue it. But the question, of course, is not in my person only, whether I wanted to be a candidate and nobody else wanted to be a counter candidate. Well, the question is that the people who are here at the university, says the moderator, people do not want to give up their research group, perhaps lessen the research potential in Estonia in this field in general. So they have to hold on to it, cling to it. And this is something which Tarmo Soomere has also hinted at before, that you have done things in the university in a way that top scientists cannot apply for a position of the rector. Well, says Tiitland, in most cases, I believe it's the case, and I've been as a scientist in this position myself 14 years ago when I received a proposal to run for the office of the rector of Tallinn University. At that time, I thought about the fact that, okay, I'm a researcher and I want to do science. But on the other hand, I thought of it when I was researcher and I did my things well, I could also make a change in rector's office. Tallinn University of Technology is or has understood commonly that quality matters. We have worked on this and our researchers sense that they have a lot to give. It's good to be a researcher, but I believe that it's not in my person. I'm not an authoritative leader, but a team player. Tarmo Soomere, you say that from the conversations with the members of the University Council, the expectations were clear that TalTech needs change, and the arguments which you were presented with were so strong that there was no question and no arguing in running for the post. So could you please share some of these strong arguments that motivated you to run for this office? Yes, well, I cannot really disclose who presented these arguments and what they were. Yes, but we would like to know, says the moderator, not who presented them, this is not relevant, but what were the reasons? Yes, I would like to specify what I wrote, and I said that arguing with this would have been very selfish and not very statesmanlike. So the arguments were based on the paraphrasing the very well-known phrase is don't ask what the university can do for you, but ask what you can do for the university. So searching for answers, I would say, took me to the breaking point. Well, I cannot accept this answer, says the moderator, because it does not mean really anything relevant. Well, yes, I can also say that in one of the schools, I needed to answer and reformulate my answers until the answer was satisfactory for the listeners. So I'm not going to do it this time. What is the big change? Asks the moderator. You promised that there will be a change and there are several ways of solving problems, but we need to act faster. What is the direction that you see that TalTech is moving when you start acting and the pace of the change is faster? Well, it's not about the speeding up of the development curve, but promoting the change to the different direction a bit. The fact that you mentioned that there are two candidates for rector's position, it's not very common to a research university which is well established. There should be tens and tens of candidates. In the first stages, they should compete each other and then continue with the debate, because the arguments which are put on the table during the debates, it's not a compulsion for next rector to adapt and use in his future work. But it should actually be that people who feel that they have this ambition and they have the capability of providing to the management of the university, they should step out and come up. External conditions have caused the situation today. It's not that the sitting rector has done something wrong. But what next? The problem with the university is not about trust. There's not a lack of trust in the world, in the research field or to the university. But we can say that the influence of higher education and researchers is eroding in the present days. And the Tallinn University of Technology's impact has eroded in two aspects. We have a very good quantitative research being done, but we have a very small amount of research results which have the potential to change the world. And we have actually left the society alone. In the present day, society expects that the most excellent researchers, people who have the knowledge and facts, lead the society, and also who are inspiring leaders who can change the tone of the attitude of the society to the world affairs. And we should ask what or who was the last professor of the University of Tallinn University of Technology who have been elected to the Estonian Parliament, and the Estonian Parliament is the body who changes our laws and provides them. So you provided 3 points of criticism. Let's start with the fact that Titland, you have said that we must clearly abandon our rivalry with the University of Tartu. TalTech goal should not be the number 2 research university in Estonia, but number 1 entrepreneurial university. So in other words, let the spirit of excellence in research, which Tarmo Soomere speaks, let it float in Tartu, and TalTech has another way to follow. So this is one of your main arguments in your election program. It also presumes a different strategic plan and a different management. I do not believe that it presumes a different style of management, but perhaps a different emphasis and focus setting. I'm not going to speak about doing both the traditional basic sciences and applied sciences. Well, we have limited resources, says the moderator, so we cannot win them all. Yes, it's true, we cannot do it all. And I have also emphasized that we do not have to run after the University of Tartu, which is basically carrying out a lot of basis research, and not to go to the 1% top research articles. Let's stay in this place in the domain where we are good at. Let's excel it. And this is a very good basis in which we can work on to use different bigger emphasis on the applied sciences, applied research, which could also get to the real economy and to the society. But I would like to also perhaps elaborate a bit more on serving the society. I believe that we speak about different things. I am very happy indeed that Tarmo Soomere has raised this question, that serving the society is perhaps lagging behind a bit, or we have failed. I do not quite agree that we have failed in it. Because I believe that the reports that we also referred to, the last one was made, I believe, in 2018 to 2019. We've seen the COVID pandemic. We've seen a very large crisis in the energy sector. Prices have gone up, the structures have been changed, and I believe that we had a loud voice in these things. The question is whether researchers have failed to serve the society or the university has done so, and also the fact that whether we have been providing for the laws to be changed and adopted in Estonia. Of course, perhaps we're not on daily television news shows. Our researchers are not present there, but it does not mean that they don't sit in the offices of our ministries and participate in creating laws. Jarek Kornitski, for instance, is sitting here as well, and persons like him and his colleagues have made a lot to develop the society. Einar Gisel, Tanel Tammend, I see AI domain, Külli Taro, for instance. So serving the society, says the moderator, is a very important topic, and we get back to this as well. But I would like to first of all clarify a bit better. Tarmo Soomere, do you also agree that the mission and role of TalTech in Estonia should be rather supporting the applied sciences, taking them to the economy, and the academic research university potential should be left to the University of Tartu? Yes, I have heard enough in my life how important basic sciences are and applied sciences. Well, the world science can be divided into two: excellence in research and poorly made research. So when we take a look at last month's academic publications, Nature and Science, Jarek Gurlitsky has provided an article for that about restructuring of our buildings. And colleague Alumäe, who was tackling the AI topics. So 10 years ago, these articles would never reach to academic publications. And this is excellent science, we see. But how do we promote it that the knowledge which is provided and created here at TalTech would help Estonia's economy grow? What could the rector do for this? Because we see that these expectations have been clearly also formulated, presented to the University of Technology, and you have also focused on this in your program, that the university should have more impact in society. So Ditland sees it as an increase in GDP, and you, Tarmo Soomere, see that in informing the society. But how much potential the researchers at the university here still have in order to promote the Estonia's economy, and what do you do for it? One part of serving the society, which we can also measure, is how our GDP grows. So there's no question about this. But now the question of how do we serve the society is that we have to think about what the university aims for: teaching, studying, doing research well, and serving the society. So all these three things in a well-respected university should be well balanced. We serve the society the best way through our great alumni. Our alumni should get the best possible education, and even better than best. When these people are not in the front line of the research world, then we can say what Russell has said, that when our people are on good level enough, then they retell the story until the point which they have understood. But we have to aim for better. We need to give our alumni the success which they need to have in order for the Estonian GDP to grow, in order to produce well-made products made in Estonia, which go to the world stage. Because we know that Estonia is only a stage for the world economy in case of our enterprises. Ditland, how does this vision coincide with yours? Well, it coincides quite well, because I do respect excellent science and top-level science the way Tarmo Soomere does. But the question is, where do we draw the line? Are we going to speak about this 1% of the very top? Are we speaking about or adapt somehow that we put our resources so that we would be the best? So our strategic plan for the next session sees that one of our KPIs is Q1 academic publishing publications numbers for our academic staff. This is something which we have seen. We exceeded the goal at one point. Now we've gone down a little bit. There are different reasons for it, but we need excellent research. We do have it But now we need more entrepreneurial collaboration to bring this to a new practical level as well. So I see that this excelling in research is something which we can use, taking this academic result also to society and to the enterprises. Do you see that there's a dissatisfaction with the people who have been as engines of Estonian economy? Because we see that the productivity is rather in a downward spiral in Estonia, although in the university there are good KPIs, they are not reflected in the Estonia's economy. So if you take these results more rapidly into the real economy and enterprises, how can we do it to see the results? And I would like to emphasize, first of all, that of course there's a bit of a time lag between these two processes. If we take a look at the readiness of technology basis research, then there's a death valley in between. Then we get a phase where products with higher added value appear and increase the GDP, help our export. And this everything has a time lag. It is true that perhaps the productivity of our labor force has gone down a bit. Perhaps COVID played a role there as well. That the entrepreneurial strategy for 2035 sees that our entrepreneurial productivity should be 110% by 2035. We are at the level of 70 to 80% now. It's not only our university's fault, but we do influence this. But there's a larger ecosystem, of course, the whole economy and enterprises as well, not only the university. But now, what is the bottleneck in our case? That the researchers remain in the labs with their research results, that they don't have the drive or the motivation or the possibility to go out of their labs. So with managerial decisions, we can promote this motivation, recreate it. And there are two things: career path attestation in every 5 years mandate. There should be some focused indicators. They move on when these have been fulfilled. And of course, financial motivation, money is not does not play a small role here as well. Tarmo Soomere, I understand that there are no easy solutions, but is there a very clear way that the rector's office should go so that the knowledge and the research cultivated at the University of Technology would get quickly to business and economy, so that we would see that there's a upturn of this curve? Yes, the world has shown actually that all solutions are wrong, says Tarmo Soomere, but we can improve the situation. Because we first have to ask how knowledge and skills and research moves. It does not go through word of mouth, does not go through publishing, but together with the people. In Estonia, we have not managed to create a knowledge transfer, which entails values as well as knowledge, come from the university and enter the enterprises, the economy. This can only take place when we will find a way how very good academic researchers, scientists go to work for the enterprises that are already there. Do not create new companies. Do something useful for the companies and a good product, and come back quickly to continue the research and teaching work at the university. This can be done rearranging a bit the career organization, the tenureship. These ideas are already floating around. We have been providing them. The rector can do something about it, unless it's vetoed by the Senate or other decision bodies. Tenureship and the tenure professorship is something that you've been proud of, Dietland, but are there some obstacles in the way and the system does not work as it should? Well, yes, I would like to start by saying that our new organization of the tenureship was established in 2017. then a bit reformed in 2021, focusing and zooming in on the bottlenecks. And the system which we have now, considering the positions we have in the tenure now, I believe that the two more important changes are supporting the academic offspring and junior researchers by creating a junior professor position, which enables also upward mobility. And then the second one is more directed to study and teaching work, promotion of academic staff in this line. But what we now speak about is that in connection with a career organization, there is a well-known matrix, 6 activities which are evaluated in the 5-point scale with the 10 steps. So these are the places which should be addressed, and this is a management question. If people ask me how to motivate and perhaps push researchers a bit more to bring their research out of the labs, when we measure them according to the impact factor of the publications, then I don't think that the publications and impact factor is the only thing we should take into consideration, but also intellectual property, for instance. We have not been able to agree on equivalent to which extent the intellectual property rights replace impact factor and publications. But I'm very proud of the university as well as the organization of our career path. But of course, there's always a need to adaptations and change in there as well. Annette Viljar, head of student council, asked in an interview recently, why do we teach things in different parts of the Estonia and make universities compete with each other? There's so little of us. Why should we not specialize and do things, not do too many things, but concentrate on things we do well? So what do you think? Should we actually concentrate on the things and limit the things that the University of Technology does as well? Actually, I believe that Annette had right and had a message in the sense that universities have positioned themselves in Estonia as competitors. This is fundamentally wrong. Estonia's universities should not be competitors, but our competition should be universities in our region, in the foreign countries, which provide free of charge education. And we need to compete with them and be better. The fact that the Estonia's universities are de facto competitors is not the fault of TalTech. We have not played a big role here, but it is clear that there should not be too much duplication. At the same time, only a monocultural field in agriculture is a nightmare as well, and we should not do this as well. So should we concentrate more on what we do well at the Tallinn University of Technology and be the best one in Estonia and best one in Scandinavia in this? Well, I have to be honest, and I have to say that I have not carried out a systematic analysis of a curricula. I know that the number of curricula has been reduced in the last 10 years. But of course, from the evolution science, we know that our strengths are always passed in coming across the difficulties of the past, and we have no idea what the future brings. So just closing down things, saying that we do not need it now, well, it would be very short-sighted. But we can also take a look at one slide which shows how many curricula we have less. We see a clear decline in the last 10 years. But if you say that our ambition should be the best university, being the best university in the region, and we do not compete within Estonia, but with the Nordic countries' universities, we also do know that the resources are getting more scarce. So the difficult choices that you refer to in your program say that we have to focus our resources better. Well, the difficult choices that I speak about in my program are of a different type. But of course, we can also say that we have to have the basis set well, and we also have to have not only plants that we need, but we also have to have wheat for the pollinators, and we have to promote and support the things that we actually want to grow on our field. To bring a parallel from the agriculture. If we take a look at the state academic and research annual prices, and in the last 4 years context, and not people who have done their life work and received prizes for that. We see that in the last years, we see rapidly changing high-level research groups that have received these prizes in the last years. And then in addition to teamings and centers of excellence, we have to see where we have the necessary plans for our society and create our own focus center of excellence. And if a person from the audience say that, do you see that under your management maritime sciences could be more of focus and other domains, you see yes? Well, from the development of the maritime area, I don't want to say much about this because I have a very emotional relationship with that. You have an emotional relationship with engineering, Dietland. We know the context that there's no abundant amount of money, but we have scarce resources. So what would you promote? Well, I have to also say that if we close down a domain, we also lose financing. It does not mean that we are able to retain financing. But we have agreements concluded with the Ministry of Education. And in these domains, we accept the students. And we also have 3% of other areas, which is not in administrative agreements, where we accept students. But if we speak about the duplication and comparison with other universities, to a certain extent, duplication needs to be there in order to provide for good academic competition. Because otherwise we just lag behind the others because we compare only ourselves with ourselves. But in the fields of these administrative agreements also 5 years ago set us a goal of reducing public administration and business number of admissions. I believe it was about 30%. So we've done this partially as well, and we've seen that in the School of Economics in the last 5 years we have accepted 900 students less, and in the similar tendencies we've seen in other domains as well, except for natural sciences. But if we close certain areas in the School of Economics, for instance, we don't get more people to engineering. So in this administrative agreement, we also have an obligation that we should accept more people to engineering and IT. We managed to also reverse this declining tendency, but activities are somewhere else. Our strength is definitely the fact that we act for a certain common goal. And we have a business analytics AI, a new field which has been opened. So this is definitely our strength as well. But engineering fields, our strategic aim for the next period, no question. We need to increase the volume, but the question is how to do it exactly. And yes, this is a very important question, says the moderator. Tarmo Soomere, you have said that engineering is a field which has abundant volume, but the same impact as smaller fields. So how do you manage to balance this? Will you reduce it? Well, there's also different opportunities on the table. Also, a possibility to close it down if it does not work. But leaving jokes aside, one thing, considering that engineering is 9 times bigger, considering its staff numbers, than Estonian Maritime Academy. Yes, engineering is the field which has a volume of free, decent, big faculties in the Estonian context. But if something works well, do not fix it. When the School of Engineering finds that everything works well, that it has to be as big as it is, and that it's a possibility to continue work this way, I don't believe that the rector has a need to actually interrupt into something that is working well. But in the School of Engineering, I've also expressed my opinion that maybe it's worth of thinking whether there's three small units under the School of Engineering. But of course, with the qualified voting, it should come from within the school and not externally. Tiit Land, the School of Engineering, has it grown too big? And do we need to balance it somehow? Or, on the contrary, you would make it grow bigger? Well, the field of engineering needs to grow, no question about it. 3,300 students today. One possible change, which is also in my plan and also in the next strategic plan, is that regional colleges are also in the School of Engineering. So we discussed the plan for regional colleges, and the plan is to initiate the discussion on whether three colleges in Tartu, Kuressaare, and Kohtla-Järve in East Viru County. These colleges are very different because our schools are different from the colleges, and we evaluate them on the same level. Considering the 3,300 students, and we reduce the number of colleges, which is 700, we have a number of or a size of a medium faculty or school. I don't say that we need to split the School of Engineering. We need to find common ground first. What are the problems, difficulties, interruptions, bottlenecks which disturb us from developing further, and have a complex look at it, and not just cut it to pieces and everything will be better. And we also refer to the career path, which is one of the most important regulations for the staff members, because it regulates their promotion and advancement in their career. They take a close look at what's written there. But financial statutes, a regulation which stipulates how money is divided between the different schools is also important. And then we have to, based on these things, elaborate the new opportunities. Well, financing of higher education, says the moderator, is a very important aspect because in Estonia's higher education, we see that there will be scarcity of resources. We don't see growth in funding. How will we be able to manage the higher education budgets? And Anette Viljar would like to ask a question also via the video. Head of Student Council. My question is quite simple. Higher education, should it be paid or tuition free? Tiit Land, I understand that you and Annette had also had quite a heated debate at one of the meetings with you. She left and not in good spirits. What did you answer, or what would you answer now? It was not heated debate, says the rector, but well, we'll leave that aside. The government coalition of Estonia has agreed, and it will be published at the end of next week as well. Their agreement is that the first level of higher education is tuition free, and the next levels should be tuition paid. Why is the first level of education in higher education free? It needs to be free because then otherwise we would lose bright minds that go elsewhere. I have been doing research and working at the University of Stockholm. Nobody there even discusses whether it should be tuition-based, at least not in the first half of the century. But in addition, if you ask how do we act in the scarcity of resource situation? The state needs to provide for it, and the state needs to also provide for the increase. And the Rector's Council has been quite vocal on this matter. And the state has said that it is very difficult to compete with them or argue with the Rector's Council because they have been voicing this opinion. But definitely it does not have to come from the students and their families. The state needs to find the resources. Tarmo Soomer, please. Well, simple questions do not have one and simple answer. My position is yes, it should be free of charge. And the question is how to provide for it. Dit Land came up to the point exactly where there's a possibility to increase financial flows of the universities for the future, but it is from the pockets of those people who have got higher education from here and would be able to support the activities of universities during their lifetime or even leave their earnings as heritage for the universities once they pass away. So this is a very well-known, well-practiced sponsorship in the world, which we know globally, paying activities of whole study areas or units, financing certain ways of research, not ways, but certain strands of research in order to get employees to their companies. And heritage and through heritage taxes, this money flow can actually be managed. I believe that property taxes is something that Estonia will not escape in the future. And this is a way of how to nudge people to leave their earthly belongings, heritage to us. Well, Ditland, you have also said that increase in the financing of higher education is not additional money, but it's worthy investment. How do we provide this investment getting into the salaries and wages of our academic staff and staff members in general? Well, in the last 2 years, I have to say that it has also been visible and reflected this increase in the wages of our people. From 121 million in 2021, our budget has increased in 173 million today. So this increase has been due to several factors, also including the very good ground we have in the Rector's Council demanding the increase of higher education. In 2023, we saw the first increase, 7.5 million euros. A majority of it, unfortunately, went to the heating costs because heating costs increased from 3.5 million to 10 million in this year. But now politically, the question is what the university's rector's office could do. The political decision was to increase the academic staff members' wages, and this was not a marginal increase. And in comparison, when we compare the academic staff salaries, our basic salary for the academic staff members is 2,000, a bit under 2,000 euros today. We are a leader in the Estonian universities landscape with this level of pay, but the question is how to continue, because our senior lecturers with a PhD degree earned less than their ambitious BA students that they taught. Is this the way of doing top science, Tarmo Soomere, with these wages? And how do you manage to find the money for the top scientists who could be top promoters in their field to get to science? Perhaps the definition of excellent researchers or top researchers is a bit weird as well, because top researchers are not seen through their publications, but it's are different factors. It seems that there's not enough resources anywhere. I believe 10 years ago already there was a heated debate that there's no money, but at the same time, if you compare the budget of the university between now and 10 years ago, the budget is twofold. So money is there out there in the world. If you have a very good product, you also pay more for this, right? So when enterprises see profit, the profit is the limit. And when I think about Estonia's companies who have been very successful, Skype, yes, of course, it will be closed down now, but we have to be great in spirit and sell the best quality products. In this case, we will also get money to the university. Ditland, you have promised that there will be support for engineering from the foundation, which the foundation that has received money from the state and enterprises. How many companies have agreed to pay to this foundation, which is earmarked for the development of engineering? And how do you see the next 4 years plan? How much additional money you would be able to earn? Well, we have not agreed on anything yet because we have not created this foundation yet. At this point, we are negotiating with the Estonian government. And there's an obstacle right now because the negotiations are about taxes and exemption of taxes to this foundation. And enterprises are not willing to pay if the income tax will be deduced. I believe that the coalition government is open for these changes at the moment, but we don't want to invent the wheel. And when we compare ourselves with others, University of Aalto, which is also bigger than we are, but the budget is not so much bigger. Our budget is 173 million this year. Aalto's budget is 2.5 times bigger, but their foundations are worth 1.5 billion. So we have agreements, and there are enterprises willing to pay. They say, please do create this foundation, and we can pay into it. And of course, there are companies who are ready to provide input, and there are also companies who want to advance IT, engineering, and related fields. But when we compare whether it might function or not in reality, Tallinn University of Technology has had a development fund, a foundation for several years, which is a place for companies to invest in order to provide scholarships for the students. And even after COVID pandemic, through our active sales work and very, very focused work, we have increased the volume of this foundation twofold. Today, it's more than €500,000, which will be given out as scholarships for the students. So I'm optimistic about this engineering foundation as well. As much as I know, almost 25% is what the foundation in Aalto forms of the Aalto University's budget total. Tarmo Soomere, you said much about serving the society, and you have said that service to society is the part which is largely unfulfilled by the university. What does the university have to offer Estonia differently that it does so far? Well, as a follow-up to this, what was said, I remember how My family members said when we were entering Mont Saint Michel, what do I get for my admission fee? What do I get for my money? And now she has been very successful in one of the universities in Austria. So when we say that what we get for our money is easily give education, it's not a very simple solution. We understand that you do not become a millionaire easily. If you do, you have to work hard for it. So coming back to the idea that the university does not only expect good alumni and research or applied sciences and knowledge transfer for us, we have to say also that administrative agreements is earning money also and not only serving society. So the society expects from us that excellent and well-versed people are the ones who set the tone, the public tone in public discussion, would say what is possible in the future, where we should head to, and also where to run now in order to keep the good position we have in the world. So now there's a question, says the moderator, how you as a rector of the university, Tallinn University of Technology, would do? What would you do differently to help all this? Well, if you take a look at my CV, you do see that I have managed to be not the ones who gives order at the university, but providing for best facts and providing the general tone. And this is a skill which you can learn. You as a rector would take this role to provide solutions for the difficulties that the Estonia is faced with, or would you also involve the rest of the academic family? Yes, actually, you just said what I wanted to say, that a rector should be the one setting the tone, nudging people into being things which are good, but they have not done it. And if you haven't done it yourself, you don't know how to nudge people as well. What is the expectation of the university is asked now in the video by someone who knows how to move money, also alumni from the University of Technology. Dear rector candidates, thinking about the development of TalTech as well as Estonia's economy, I have two main messages and ideas. First of all, it's important how the university relates to unlocking economic potential and economic growth. And secondly, what is the input of TalTech to energy revolution, greening? So I would like to ask, how in your vision, how TalTech will become an engine of Estonia's economy in green transfer? Itland, let's start with you. Yes, if I may, in connection with what you asked before, what the rector does in order to serve the society more. What we did now with the rector's team was trialogue, not daily TV, but a trialogue, which is a portal between scientists, businesses, and public sector. So if you go to trialogue.taltech.ee, you will see what we've created. But now coming to Robert Kitt's question, I would like to answer quite concretely what we have done. And now I have this opportunity to speak about the focused centers of excellence that we created a year ago. And one of them are about future energy, which brings together TalTech and different researchers. Of course, mechatronics, engineering, electroenergetics, different units are involved here. It's important for this focus center to be interdisciplinary. And the problem which Robert Kitt referred to is not just in one discipline, but it is complex and interdisciplinary. So these focus centers of excellence should be the driving engines of also creating through new contexts and new solutions. Tarmo Soomere, as a journalist, it seems to me that the Estonian society is quite confused about Estonia's energy policy. I wanted to ask whether TalTech has remained too passive in this debate. Yes and no. TalTech researchers have written articles, have been part of discussions and provided for solutions. But the last step is still lacking. We have not been able to set the tone in these arguments. We have not been able to exclude stupidities. We have not able to clarify that in case of Green Deal, people win, countries win when new technologies have been completed and finished, even if it's not economically viable in the beginning. We can speak about the mines in Finland, and they do not produce, well, they are not well off economically, but they provide technologies for mines globally, and this is what they sell. So, setting the tone, creating technologies for green transfer, and bring the best technologies to Estonia, scale it to the level of Estonia, because the ones who enter the market with the new technologies first can be the leaders of the world for a long time. For instance, Nokia has a good experience from Finland, good example. So researchers have to react, I understand. I understand that arguing in social media could take up a lot of university staff's time regarding energy transfer or something else. But we saw in the Estonian parliament yesterday in the debate, it seemed to me that it was definitely not about facts at all. Yes, I would like to come back to trialogue, says Tiit Landa. We want to promote it so that people actually debate on there as well. Can it be compared with Delphi, one of the largest portals in Estonia, where people can comment and discuss things? No, but the question is whether it has an impact. The trialogue has an impact which society needs. Great to have this portal, yes, but whether it can actually have any influence on the ideas in the society. Well, we have been active for less than a year as well. So, yes, but what can Rector do, says the moderator, so that the knowledge which is here at the university would get to the society? It seems that the debates which we have now in the energy field, we cannot hear the voice of scientists there at all, or not very often. Well, yes, we can always do more. But I also do not want to agree that our scientists have been passive. What can the rector do? The rector can speak as much as is possible. When speaking about the organization of our career path, we do not want to set the new, maybe we should set a new task there that you have to just talk and talk and talk. Tarmo Soomere, how do you envisage the organization of labor so that TalTech scientists would be a bigger part of the debates in the society? Well, yes, competing with memes is not a very good idea. We need to fight for the space where reasonable opinions and knowledge-based opinions can spread. We've done this at the Academy of Sciences and also are on the same page with our colleagues in the rest of the world with this. So you cannot argue with all kinds of comments, but you need to create a channel with for adequate information flow about adequate information and good arguments. So the fact that the adequate information is out there on the table keeps away stupid decisions. We've seen that one column in a daily newspaper is something which works well. So we should actually have this in the university as well, and not in the market created by the marketing department at TalTech. Well, we will have a short break now. We'll take a look at the videos. It will take about 4 minutes of the debate, and we will see how TalTech Sciences has changed our living environment. Public transit does not help us get to where we want to, and there's always a short trip lacking. And this issue is being overcome by creating autonomous mobility solutions together with the Smart City Center of Excellence. TalTech develops autonomous vehicles, which the so-called last mile vehicles help you to get to work and to the cinema or to your home when you live in the outskirts of the city. These autonomously moving vehicles are demand-based, and the last mile vehicles take you where you want to, reducing the traffic jams and saving energy. Future smart cities start from TalTech. This future-proof city is something more than just vehicles and different buildings and people, but it's also greenery. Our scientists work on the digital twin of the green city. This virtual solution shows how the plants are different in different seasons and how it influences the ecosystems of cities. Digital twin of the plants shows where you need more shade from summer sun, where you need to make adaptations, or where the storms gather when trees do not have leaves in the fall. This is how we have cleaner air and better living environment in the cities. Smart cities start from TalTech. Our buildings provide for more than half of energy consumption globally. Smart city in the future is more energy conserving. TalTech has elaborated solutions which makes Estonia a pioneer in creating zero energy buildings and renovating them. Digital audit platform puts together all constructions in future city to follow them in real time and automatically analyze their energy consumption in order to have ventilation, cooling and heating on an optimal level always. This helps us to detect problems fast and also construct better buildings in the future. That's how energy-saving buildings have ideal inner climates. Future start from TalTech. Future cities save, produce, and use energy in a way that is pocket-friendly for the consumers and also for the environment. Tallinn University of Technology scientists have a conception of how to create micro networks, energy-saving digital grids. Micro grids will have closed grids as an end result, using local renewable energy, energy grids with personalized solutions and smart solutions in this area help us not overusing energy in the top consumption times, and this creates cleaner air, more friendly prices in energy, and this means that the future city starts from TalTech. In order for us to live in the present day, we need top specialists who work on this continuously, because real knowledge creates real things. Come and study at Tallinn University of Technology. When today's students at TalTech have not come from this future city, they in any case have been born into the world where their parents will give them smartphones. These are pupils and students who expect personalized, flexible study content. And Tarmo Soomere, how does TalTech need to adapt to a learner from this environment? When we take a look at the statistics of students graduating with nominal time, it seems that sky is the limit in the development. 60% is what's stipulated in the strategic plan, that 60% of students should end their studies in nominal time. Today, the percentage is 48. What do we have to do in order to be more flexible with these modern day students, or we have to just force them to somehow end their studies in a nominal time? Well, yes, this word adapting is not quite correctly chosen, because the university has to adapt the situation and not the students. And it seems that the Flint's law is not valid anymore, that the quality of our population is in decline throughout time. And Estonia's higher education strategy foresees in Estonia that 45% of people, about 50% of people, should have higher education. These two points are in contradiction with each other, which means that we need to invest a lot into people whose ability to study is not as fast as the brightest of minds do. So one thing which we have to think about more is maybe adding 1 year of study, because the secondary schools have now 1 year longer study time. For Russian medium schools, it's even 2 years. So if we have a problem that in 3 years' time we cannot provide for a good quality BA education, we have to invest 4 years. Well, how does it look from the rector's office? Does it fit into your budget? Well, actually, we have added 1 year, because you see that in this curve that there's a nominal time plus 1. But again, zooming in on the numbers, we see that 55% of students, when they are matriculated, and of course with the vice rector of academic affairs, we compete with each other, because he's assigning the people who have dropped out the documents, and I sign the ones who get the diploma. Well, we see dropouts here as well, and the percentages show that the situation is better, but 1,168 students interrupted their studies in 2024 at TalTech, and this is a considerable number. Yes, it is a considerable number. And when the students are exmatriculated and they drop out, we say that they need to write also or provide an argument why. Half of them say that they wanted to give up themselves. Some people have written, or largely 15% have said that they have not participated in academic work at all. But 55% say that they leave because of their own reasons or their own wish. We need to deal with these people very intensively. Work on this. I believe that our staff members do it. Students can also help themselves and each other in this. Now the question is what our university management can do. Improve the motivation of our staff members. Of course, salaries is one important point in this. Also, students' own participation is important. I would like to also emphasize that our students' organizations today are increasingly active. They can help as well. We cannot point our finger on one thing which helps, but we see that 55% based on their own wish have left the university. We have to zoom in on the reasons. And actually, lion's share of these people also work. That's the reason. Tarmo Soomere, we are pressured on two sides. On the one hand, we have this expectation that engineering education needs to be more broad-based and more higher quality. At the same time, we see that entry thresholds in mathematics go down. So how do we solve the situation? will we take our engineering students with lower levels in mathematics examinations, keep them here longer? Or do we have any carrots or sticks to keep these people here and at the same time also improve the quality of an engineering education? Well, I do not see that the quality of engineering education can go down, because I remember a meme which said that since medical students are studying with the help of ChatGPT, you need to take care of your own health. Well, we definitely do not want our buildings to fall on the people and collapse. That's why we provided also for the solution of engineering studies to take place within 5 years. So quality is something we cannot be flexible with. So we have to think out of the box. Because university, technical university, as well as others work with the materials that they have. And when the material is not of good quality, we need to improve it somehow. We have to consider a different way out. Offer teacher training in certain domains so that in regular secondary schools we would have the teachers who can motivate young people from very young ages already, because there's a statistically relevant connection between the students who have studied but have had also a possibility to work with top scientists in a lab or elsewhere. And this will provide a good quality. Well, how can we provide good quality, says the moderator, in times when mathematics examinations results will go down and you want to increase the number of engineering students? Well, first of all, I have to say that when the broad-based and the more focused specialized math exams were introduced as graduation exams in the school at Estonian schools, the numbers have remained the same. Well, we will have higher volumes in the next 5 years' time, because just the number of young people will increase demographically, and we have to take advantage of this momentum. But we'll have to also work on the system of our secondary schools with this broad-based and more specialized math exams. With the specialized exams result, we cannot admit people only because it's just too narrow, too specialized. But this year, we also tested for our engineering field. We accepted 40 students with the results in maths below threshold. It has advanced well, but we have to work more with these people. So teacher training is something we cannot do at the moment. We also need to then apply for a license for this. So this is a long-term aim, but we need to also work with basic schools. The maths problems start from basic schools, and then it will be also transferred to higher levels later. And one way of serving the society, e-mathematics test has become increasingly popular as well. I will also like to give a possibility to Carolina Rebane, a member of the Student Council, to say that the University of Tartu spirit also is visible and can be felt here as well. So when you ask from a random person in the street where you get the best education in Estonia, then very often people say that Tartu University is the place. My question is, what can we do in order for Tallinn University of Technology education would be at least on the same level? Tarmo Soomere, let's start with you. Whether it's the spirit of Tartu that we see hovering above us here, because Tartu University is about two times bigger than TalTech, and is about half of the higher education landscape in Estonia. So statistically, it's more possible, more probably by 50% that when you meet somebody in the street, they have been tied to the University of Tartu, not TalTech. So the question is also about quality. Tartu University has had quite a controversial role at that time, but technical education has not been valued by classical domains, and this has changed in the world in the last 10 to 20 years. We need time for this to also reach to the Estonian society. But in addition to everything we've done at the University of Technology here, time is a major factor. We need more time. Inconvenient truth is, says the moderator, that top scientists do not want to wish on the BA level, or maybe the top researchers want to teach, but not for BA students, but MA students, more PhD students, and junior lecturers are the ones who are dealing with BA students. Is this inconvenient truth really true? And is this also the problem we have with the teaching and the study quality? Ditland. Now, I would not say that if you ask a person on the street whether that they consider University of Tartu's education better. Well, it seems that the student board thinks this way. I'm happy that Carolina asked this question because she has been quite active in the study work-related areas as a representative of students, and this is definitely an issue close to her heart. But thinking about TalTech, we have engineering domains, fields, study programs for 5 years, and this is something which cannot be compared to the University of Tartu. But now, where the professors need to be available to BA students so that they would get this inspiration and motivation. Yes, they should. And I believe that we need to motivate them and push them to do so. And I believe that the students themselves do so as well. Because, for instance, Carolina and the students' board or council had award ceremony for the teaching staff as well. So this is one way to motivate the professors to also go and teach students on the first level. And BA students should at least see the professors themselves as well. Tarmo Soomere, how do you organize the career path and career model in a way that the professors should get to the BA lectures as well? It's not easy. An ideal case, they could and they should. And as a young professor, I also taught the first year students in the Estonian Maritime Academy. So I have this experience. Would you also show this as be a role model there as a rector? Yes, I would. But now to proceed from here, this is also about this organizational work, because the rector has also a task to take care of everything else. So whether you would have time and energy to read a whole course, that's a question. But the rector should have an obligation to give, for instance, example lessons, example lectures, not because people need to go there, that it's compulsory for students to show up, but that they cannot miss them. It needs to be so good. So this is also very good, because I've seen this in universities globally, that professors do not teach the first year students, but they are visible in everyday academic work and study work. Ditland, one question which you received in this brainstorming session: what to do in order for a good researcher, scientist to be a good teacher? How to improve the teaching skills? Because top scientists not always are good teachers. Well, yes, in all cases, it's not even possible that top researchers are top teachers. But teachers need to work. Professors need to teach, as well as academic staff in general need to do research. So how do you do this? Two different motivations, but it's important to recognize these people at the Estonia's anniversary festive events. We always also give awards to our teaching staff. This is a very important part of recognition. I do not believe that we need to nudge people to the direction that all great scientists need to give great lectures. This is not something we manage, but they need to be visible also to the students. And now the question is why professors should also go to meet our BA students. It's in order to help our offspring grow and create contacts between them. More and more English language curricula is being applied to programs and courses in English as well. Is Estonian medium education, higher education necessary? Yes, it is an imperative, says Tarmo Soomere. Higher education institutions are the ones who carry Estonian language and culture and science. And in the meaning of Estonia's constitution, universities are one of the pillars to support Estonian language to be preserved. Estonia is known to be the smallest language in the world, to be one of the top academic languages in the world, and or a language in which top academic results are achieved or science is done in the world, a smallest language. And if we only live in one language space, as Martin Heidegger said, we never learn how to learn. So at least one foreign language needs to be well known, well versed in, and it's not possible if you don't learn and teach in it. About teacher training, once again. Do you have a plan also when the Tallinn University of Technology and Tallinn University would be merged? This would help as well. Question from the audience. So I understand that this elementary mathematics, the skill to add and deduct has gone to masses, but 1 + 1 could be 4, 8, or 1, says my specialty. So what is the problem we're solving? Is it because we are poor in teacher training, or that we do not have enough engineers? We cannot solve two things at the same time. Midland. No, I do not know that this is a very serious proposal which is on the table. But the question is increasingly that when starting from 2030, the students' numbers are in constant decline. And then we have a very small number of students, but too many universities. We should work better together. And this also means digitally joining, creating one study information system so that MA students and at the University of Tallinn, for instance, who study to become a teacher should or could come and study chemistry here with us, because general chemistry can be taught here at one point. Let's come back to the saving of the resources. And this was one question which I didn't manage to ask in this panel, whether universities should include technological systems, study info system, audits, real estate administration. All these things should be pooled together so that this would be a possibility to save for the Estonian universities. Tarmo Soomere. Yes, this question was also raised in the meeting of universities' councils. This was a meeting which was called by the Ministry of Education. And I am afraid that these calculations have not been really made. And when joining the electronic systems can be done because it's not so important where they are used exactly, but in case of real estate administration, I believe that the question, this saving could be imaginary or rather negative. Ditland, have you been taking a look at how much you can use or how much you can save in this respect? Yes, the question is also who owns real estate? Today's universities also own real estate, and is it owning or just administrating? Giving an example of my other alma mater, University of Stockholm, if I take a look at their experience, then in Stockholm, the state organization, PLC, which owns real estate and rents them to the university. So, and the renting prices are stipulated by the prices in the market. I don't believe that we would save more there, but the universities, being owners of real estate, they know what real estate we need, and we always can reduce this number, and we've done this in the last year as well. But study information system and digital joining of the systems, upholding these systems are quite expensive. We have 6 public universities today and 4 different study information system or information systems. Some develop the systems themselves, some have companies to provide for it. And we have a joint curricula today as well. For instance, when our students go to the design, take a design course in the art academy in Tallinn, they need to run with their papers digitally between different systems. We should actually join it in a way that it's easier. Tarmo Soomere, when I read your program, you say that considering TalTech's potential, you have not been on the right level for the citing. Perhaps how can we encourage top science in this university to be more cited? Well, what does it mean? What do we have to do? Well, how do you describe music to someone who has not been able to experience it before? You can only show, play. The only way to get students to make academic career one day is for once they are pupils that they work alongside with the top scientists. There are some excellent researchers who can motivate people only by being themselves and not talk a lot. So if we statistically do not have enough people whose inspiration hovers above the holes we have here, then it's not possible to create these top level researchers for the future as well. The top researchers are usually the students of the Nobel Prize candidates. The people who have not been elsewhere in the world doing top science, you do not understand. You have to see this in practice. Now the question is, as the moderator, why these top researchers, top scientists need to come to TalTech? How do you attract them? They need to be born here and grow here and become researchers. Well, it has become an economic strand. We see how in certain countries in the Middle East, people or countries actually buy up top talent universities in Singapore or the oil-rich countries, for instance, do it. We do not have such resources, so we have to keep close attention to retaining our talent and direct this talent to places where we've studied ourselves. So doing postdoc in certain places would be an option. And our teaching staff also needs to have a look at our young talent and put them to somewhere where they are best equipped for. How do we improve this level of research so that in the short run, within the next 4 years, we would have research results which could inspire people? I have to say that we don't see stagnating numbers. Well, taking a look at the future, I believe that the cost of living will increase and financing maybe not so. Well, we have to do more ourselves as well in order to have more money. So we have different levels here. And one big problem today is that our research is very much project-based. And research universities in Estonia have 18% only of state financing, and its lion's share is project-based, so competitive money. This news also got to the very top level in the government, to the prime minister. But I agree with Tarmo Soomere that our researchers' offspring need to be grown within ourselves from our own people. And we can take these top researchers, and in the lab they would just take the students and say, okay, I'm a top researcher, let's do this and that. But at the same time, in order to attract top researchers here, we don't have to buy them in the way that oil-rich countries do, that somebody offered more and we have to create our own youth to be able to become top scientists through our study work, through the career model. And targeted searches of these people, of course, are important as well. Tarmo Soomere, we have not used the potential of the people, the bright minds, secondary schools graduates who go to study in elsewhere in foreign countries. A couple of hundred a year, yes, but we lose connection with these people. And creating and recreating connection with them is quite complicated. I understand that the ministry does not want to do it because it's in connection with the GDPR and the data protection regulation, but we can get back in touch with these people somehow to keep the places for people who have went for BA studies elsewhere. They all won't return, but we can increase the likelihood that the brightest minds after graduating from the first or second level of higher education would be able to return. And so this is definitely the seeds we want. But how do we manage to get a hold of these people? Well, we have to actually ask around when we see that a person has graduated from secondary school and have not applied for a university. So actually, I believe that for our data engineers, it's easy to create such a database. So it's not about techniques at all. It is about doing it, just doing it. Well, AI might find them, says Didland. But I would like to also emphasize the next aspect. I agree, like Tarmo Soomere said, that a considerable amount of people, the considerable numbers go to also study in foreign universities, but we also have PhD students who defend elsewhere. In every 5 years, an average 1 year cohort of students graduate this way. We have to look for them, yes, but I believe that our PhD students are easier to find based on their academic results. So we see where they are, and so we need to also bring these people back who have left Estonia. I believe that this is perhaps a broader question, what many TalTech people have asked themselves as well. Estonia's research financing is project-based and a bit fragmented, as you said, Tarmo Soomere. How would you provide for sustainability, where 11 million euros to Metrosert are provided by the government instead of improving the labs of TalTech? Perhaps there's a message here in the university which has not reached to the government, that top researchers and including the good applied plans should come from here, and not Metrosert needs to provide for them. Dietland, I do not agree that the message has not been sent out, but I would say that the message has not been received and it has not been taken seriously. Coming back to the new R&D council, Research and Science Council, the Prime Minister also has asked our advice of how to get these results to the real economy. We have to think about also that there are two ministries, Ministry of Education and Research, who finance is our teaching work and research, and then we have Ministry of Economic Affairs, who's financing also research activities, but it does not need to involve universities. It is easier for the ministry sometimes to just buy a couple of researchers and make them do work instead of turning to the universities. So this is definitely one message we need to also voice louder. And with Metrosert, there's also an appointment in calendar. We need to sit together and discuss how to end this stupid situation where 11 million they have received for equipment, whereas our own equipment is worth almost as much. Tarmo Soomere, how do we manage to have a modern day infrastructure in a way that also in a situation where funding is reduced? Yes, we are facing a challenge because we managed to get quite a lot of money from the EU structural funds in the past, but no more European funding is used now. And this is focused on services-based approach as well. So we are in a situation now that we have to make do with our taxpayers' money, and we also have to start with the question which the parliament or government asks, because it is taxpayers' money. They want to know what they want or what they get for this money. And I have to agree with Dietland that the external consequences are a bit controversial, perhaps a bit fragmented. Of course, a research agreement, 1% of GDP to research, which we agreed quite some years ago. But at the same time, there's fragmentation, and we are lacking a good plan. So it's like in case of being having solidarity with Ukraine, all parties need to now do something about it. Dietland, number one, Estonia's entrepreneurial university. Do you have to be worried about not being cited in high-impact journals? Or these researchers should rather do applied research and make the economy grow? I believe that we do not have to be worried when thinking about the most the Q1, the top 1%. We do have our measuring board. We know where our publications are, that they are what their impact is, and we don't have to be worried. We have to think of rather how to motivate researchers to be more entrepreneurial and take these results outside. So as I mentioned, we have to replace the impact factor of the articles, publications to intellectual property instead, writes Tarmo Soomere. How would you like to take the TalTech's potential up to the citing and impact factor? I believe that nobody here knows who is the most cited TalTech researcher and most cited Estonian researcher. Do you know who this is? Would you make a guess? Pearo Peterson. Have you heard of him? I guess you haven't. 2 articles. 2022, 2021, 33,000 citations. But we didn't manage to keep him. He went elsewhere. How would you be able to have kept him? Well, this is a longer story. I believe that we would have had possibilities, indeed, but I believe that Estonia might be too small for very ambitious people. What is the exact thing we can do? I don't know. We have to try and test. But I want to say that I would not be so hopeless in case of citations or number of publications. But I believe that the problem is somewhere else. When we want to win a market, we need to protect intellectual property, which means that the projects which have a hope of being converted to a product, a well-known product, we need to protect them right away. Otherwise, no companies are ready to accept these inventions because our innovation capacity as far as speed is concerned is quite low. The companies who manage to adapt good ideas manage to do it in seconds, and the ones who get to the market first will win it. So 3 times intellectual property rights protection is my answer. I would like to give the floor to Mart Saarma, head of Academy of Sciences, and he has sent us a video question. Thank you very much for the opportunity to ask questions to the position of the rector of Tallinn Technical University of Technology, we know that TalTech is a very important university in the Estonian Republic and is definitely expected of creating and adapting using of modern day technologies, one of the most important engines for this. And today, the modern world cannot manage without patents protecting intellectual property rights. Unfortunately, the number of patents which we have is quite low. And my first question to the candidates for the rector's position is, how is it possible to increase the number of patents of the scientists by the TalTech, and how the numbers could be increased? And the second question is our researchers, professors, they have academic freedom, which means that they pick the topics that they want to research. But the reality is that a very large number of Estonian universities, including the Tallinn University of Technology, the research which is carried out is that it's not possible to find a partner in the Estonian companies with this research. And that's why it's very nice to, or a very natural way, use 2 ways, create a startup yourself or conclude contracts or licensing agreement with foreign companies. It would be also quite natural for Tallinn University of Technology to have contracts and licensing agreements with EU enterprises, technology enterprises. My question is, How is it possible to increase the number of contracts and licensing agreements of Tallinn University of Technology, especially among leading foreign technology companies? Thank you very much. Tiit Land, patents and so on. Yes, I will give a short answer to this first question. I've said before that the number of patents are taken into consideration in the career matrix of our staff members, so we are not stuck in publications only. And then the second question about foreign companies and how to manage better licensing agreements. First of all, I think we have to get to the point that we would have something to license. And if there are no Estonian companies, then we need to have results which enable us to license. And this way this is possible to have more applied projects to support them, and the university can support them as well as the state should support them as well. Tarmo Soomere, please. Yes, patent creation is a process which is quite expensive. Of course, we can motivate people to do more of it, and we can set it to KPIs or other indicators, but we have to avoid accusations that you patent and it's very expensive and it never brings in any money. Seems that this vibe has been there in the house for a very long time. Patent is not created, or single patent is not created in order to earn money, but that's big. There are many patents, and among them there's one which brings in hundreds and millions. We see that the number of applications has been increasing steadily, and of course licensing agreements, the total number has been moving, but slowly. But then one topic I would like to return back to is the startups created at the university and spin-offs. We see Tiit Land, and I would like to ask you, how is it possible to promote the potential of science-based enterprises? And this startups and such is one way. Yes, this is also a broader ecosystem. It's intellectual property rights, supporting them, creating startups, and how to promote them. The ecosystem of supporting them and promoting them is the cell. But I would like to come back to how we can support the spin-offs through supporting activities, professional support by our entrepreneurial units. And one topic which we also have been speaking about is how to get our research into enterprises. Our anti-corruption law might be there. When the university has created something for public money and researcher goes out of the university, they might be launched, proceeding might be launched against them, and they face a court case. So, but we've talked about this before as well. Tarmo Soomere. Entrepreneurial university is an oxymoron, because university is not a good entrepreneur, as state usually is not a good manager. But enterprises and university need to be tied tightly together, and it's also natural to get these enterprises out of it. Unicorn is just a spillover effect of excellent science. So whether we want it or not, research creates good projects. It's the same way as it's not possible to avoid forest to be grown in Estonia. Let's speak about the mobility of researchers. Question is a tenure too similar to a professorship today? And how can tenure be rethought in such a way as to give researchers the certainty that once they have moved into the private sector or even into professorship or to the rector's office, they can pick up work where they left it off? Tarmo Soomere. The idea of tenure is give a job protection, post protection, and people to tenure is not selected by how long they have worked, but how much they are real scientists that they cannot live without doing science. And this is a possibility not only to have freedom to pick their topic and research area, but also an idea that if they are more needed elsewhere than their own home university, they could go and be mobile and then come back at one point in time to the university, so that their working group, research groups are there and remain there. So TalTech should have some people like this as well, not only that they come back and they are able to come back, but how attractive the career of a researcher could be for them who chose to be ones. If it's only a valley of death and a big sorrow for people between PhD until professorship, if this career is not an easy way, nobody will choose it. Depending on how long this person is away, says Dietland, when they go for 5 years, for instance, work in enterprises, our career model is flexible enough, they can come back. Let's take another video question. This comes from an alumni, a top leader, Kai Realo, who has also studied here. As a top manager of a company, I see on daily basis that year after year, our employees have an expectation that they have value-based management. In addition to how the goals are retained and which goals are retained, they have an understanding of how to evaluate the work of people, how they behave, how cooperation is carried out. So we don't only think about how goals are achieved, but how, not that the goals are achieved, but how they are achieved. So my question to the candidates for the rector post is that in addition to manage this academic side, the rector's office formulates the management of the university. In which way students that study at the university, as well as the staff of the university, could understand that they are being managed and led by values, value-based management. Tarmo Soomere. Yes, people usually practice what the managers preach. I myself have been in my career a frontliner and a role model in a role model setting function in the institutions where I have worked, even when I've been a top manager. So leading by example and to practice what you preach is a principle that I have to follow. I have followed until now. I might have to reconsider a bit, perhaps. Dietland. Yes, I said that recognizing our staff is one side, but I also see that the value-based cooperation and promoting value-based cooperation is important here. Because again, people are happier working together when they work together, when they work separately. How can we promote this? The university can create different centers. We have done it as well, and we've supported them as well. And how to do it better is a broader question. In order for the Estonian medium university to survive, we need a new generation of professors. But how can we persuade professionals with higher education to come to doctoral studies and grow into academics? Today, the society reflects things in a way that PhD candidates or people with doctorate degrees do not get higher salaries. So it does not provide a higher level of living. how problematic it is, Tarmo Soomere, that in 5 years' time we do not have any doctoral students, doctoral degree problems, professors to teach our Estonian language students. Who should be the role model there? If we have not managed to create the society, that society reflects something else, we have not done our job well. Influencing the society is a process which can be influenced. There are several ways of how to nudge the society a bit. For instance, even to the respected moderator, you have a news show. We can come and talk about these things on TV. Dietland, how do you see the problem that certain specialities do not have people with a PhD degree who could teach students in the Estonian language? And we see that it's a problem. Yes, it is a problem, says Dietland, quite acute, especially in IT domain. External market is definitely one that provides for the situation that Estonian youth does not continue their studies in the PhD program. We've seen this trend reversing a bit in the last years. And one way is to support the salaries on all levels, also from the PhD studies already. And the last change is that PhD candidates are not only students, but also junior research fellows. So through the wages and through this reform, we can try to reverse this trend as well. But there are, in different research fields, the situation is different. IT is the more acute point. And of course, engineering is definitely something we need Estonian language young people into. So we need to support these activities as much as we can in order for this to be true. Do the salaries paid to PhD students today exceed the salaries paid to the PhD lab technicians who supervise them? Now, what is the message then? The journey is more important than the outcomes, so stay as long as possible. Yes, this could be a problem, and this was a problem when last fall we increased salaries of junior research fellows to 2,300 euros a month. So definitely the supervisors and lab technicians should get higher salaries, and the university needs to find means for this. What are the steps that universities can proactively do in order to value this more? Yes, we can do this by looking for candidates who modify their profile and extend it, asked by their supervisors. But I believe that money is definitely one aspect that can shape people's choices. And political decisions might not be everybody's cup of tea, but definitely a carrot is a better way than to use the stick in order to make the change happen. I believe that AI needs to be mentioned in all good debates, it seems. And AI has been also a topic which has been very acute to people who ask the questions for this debate. What is your vision for the use of AI at the university? To what extent will it affect the functioning of the university for the coming years? Should the university have an AI strategy, and what could be the plan for its implementation? Dietland. Yes, AI, be it a separate strategy for our strategic plan, but one of the 6 centers of excellence is AI Center. It's created a bit more than a year ago. It's more directed to research. Now our focus has been the use of AI in teaching and study work. And we have also created AI strategy is not maybe a right formulation since the council members are here as well, but the AI map we have a working group on the level of Rector's office and the School of IT, the dean of the School of IT is the head of this working group. And our focus now is to come up with something regarding the AI in study work. Because the students who use this for study work are here already. Could this be a motivation also for professors to give lectures to BA students? The work could be done through AI that they would not need to read, for instance, the essays or such. The situation changes so fast that when I answer this question, it is already too old before I leave this assembly hall. Taking a look in the broader context, technology has a power, and this power is influenced immensely by AI. And Mara's law says that in case of technological achievements, we overestimate its long-term influence, but we underestimate. We overestimate its short-term influence, but underestimate the long-term influence. We need to be very responsible when considering all things related to AI, and I believe that Ditland has done this well with the Rector's office. But now our decisions do not need to only take into consideration what the world is like, but what it could be evolving to in the future as well. Dear Rector's candidates, we could use up much more time here on the stage and in this panel because these topics need more discussion, but the format has been set for us, which means that we are going to sum up for today. So the University of will decide regarding the Rector on May 9th. And exceptionally, the term of office of the Rector of the Tallinn University of Technology will be for 4 years this time, so that in the future the cycles of election for the board and the Rector will not overlap. The Rector will take office on 1st of August, and the inauguration ceremony will take place on 29th of August. I am sure that university family has now gained very good insight during this month into the vision of both candidates, where they want to take the university in the next 4 years. But in order to underline the most important points, both Tiit Land and Tarmo Soomere will have the opportunity to summarize the main points in 4 minutes. And Tiit Land, please, you have the floor. Dear colleagues, dear academic family, Tallinn University of Technology has a choice today, but this is not a choice between two people. There is a choice between two paths, whether to continue with the path which has a very clear way of development and already set path, or you embark on a new path which you don't know where it will lead. I believe that the job we started together will need to be also completed together. And in the last years, we have set goals and we have reformed a management model, and new teams have been brought into the decision maker level. We have revalued our PhD students. We have created interdisciplinary research groups. We have joined the network of the best technical universities in the world. Our students build world-level solar panel cars, ride students Formula One, and our researchers have received salary increases, but we have many things to do. Engineering education, professorships, lack of research groups, motivation for young people to come and stay. Estonian language study and teaching need to be preserved and collaborated to retain. We have to support studies which have which is meaningful, which means that entrepreneurial approach should be applied as well as evaluating high-level research. We need our knowledge and research to get into the society, companies, and economy. We know that our researchers do not stop here at TalTech, but it starts from here to Silicon Valley, to ideas, to them being into products and practices. Tallinn University of Technology does things not in order to do things, but do it for the greater good. I believe that enough is when we manage to complete our journey and our work. I am a candidate for the rector's position because I have a vision. It does not start from zero. It's a vision which is already in place. We've started already together with the team, and the results are supporting this already as well. University does not need large turns, but goal orientation. And when the future is at stake, we cannot interrupt this development. Thank you very much. And all the skeptics, as well as all my supporters, I invite you embarking on this common journey together. And I would like to also thank my co-candidate, Tarmo Soomere, academician, for our good debates. It seems, it is clear that we are fighting for the university to forcefully develop and also have an input to Estonian society. Thank you very much. Thank you to Tiit Land and Tarmo Soomere, please. You have the floor. Dear colleagues, dear listeners, dear academic family, we see that the history has not come to an end because peace and welfare society needs to be it is changing. We have seen violence and war. We've seen turbulence, and we also seen very unexpected turns in world countries that have been our role models. So Estonia is in the crosswinds of history again, but we need to cope with this. And when the university's metaphor has been that the university is like a large ship which is turning slowly, we have to be ready for quite some high waves from unexpected directions. And in this metaphor, there's a hidden message that our most important parts will take the higher, more difficult blows. The side waves are the most difficult ones when sailing the seas. The educated elites are in decline globally. It's important also to support our backs in a sense that we need to cope with the attacks to our elites, educated elites. Universities are the places which usually cope with these changes, and I believe that expectations are quite high to us as well in this tense situation. I am quite conservative in my approach, and universities are expected to create knowledge as well as to transfer this knowledge to our alumni and also give them wings in order to develop and be worthy parts of society. At the same time, we speak about entrepreneurship. This can be done only when taking means from the past and putting it to the future. So, like Theodore Roosevelt has said, the better you know the past, the more prepared you are for the future. And in this tense situation, being excellent is only enough. Knowledge and research creates more knowledge than the society is ready to adapt with this pace. We are seeing the development. Most decisions, this amount of new knowledge is made without this new knowledge. And we can make the world a better place only when knowledge and skills, mente et mano, as we know in our slogan, meet the sensitive social nerve together with environment and mankind in collaboration and understanding also economic laws. And then you have a chance to worthily serve the society and university Technical university is a place where you get the basis for this knowledge in order to make the world a better place. Thank you very much. Dear friend, the question, what kind of leader Tallinn University of Technology needs, has been quite thoroughly discussed, and it remains to be seen whether one of these two visions will be implemented in the next 4 years. Thank you very much to Tiit Land and Tarmo Soomere. Thank you to everyone who contributed. It was largely your questions, observations, and expectations that shaped today's debate. And these expectations will shape the future of the University of Technology and Estonia's future. Thank you very much.